Hello patrons, it's Pam. Welcome to another video for you. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to be going back through my graveyard today, gonna pick up some more games and tell you all about them from my archive. I'm just picking things out randomly, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, so the first one I picked out is a game that I really love. It's a trivia game. It's called the Fax Machine, F-A-C-T-S. Here's the board. So there's the fax machine going wild. So this was a cooperative trivia game. So I wanted to do a trivia game. I know trivia games are very tough because the questions can get outdated pretty quick. Not a lot of replayability. It's hard to make a unique game in that genre since there have been so many good ones made already. So basically, you're trying to win as a team against the fax machine. The fax machine is going crazy and it's out of control. You're trying to turn the fax machine off. So that's the powering down track over here. So you are trying to, if your group fills up this track here with cards with correct answers before this gets full, you would win. So all your wrong answers go here, your right answers go here. So you would get 2 question cards flipped up here. And then you as a group would decide which one you would actually answer. So you get a choice between the 2. And there are always things with a certain number of answers, like who are the 5 members of the Spice Girls or something like that. So say you chose that one. You would flip it over and there would be 1 wrong answer added to the answer. So there would be 6 instead of 5. So maybe it's Baby Spice, Scary Spice, Old Spice, and so on. If your answer was Old Spice, that would be correct. It would be the 1 wrong answer that the fax machine accidentally or purposefully, because they look a little nuts, added into the answers. So it's actually, I'll show you some of the cards because it was actually pretty cool how I had the cards, how I revealed the answers. So I can't find the cards from the version that I'm thinking of, but this is from a previous version, so I'll just explain it to you. All the answers were on the back, and then I had a little piece of paper that was attached that would flip up to reveal the answer at the bottom, so that would make it cooperative, so that everyone can look at all the possible answers, and then the incorrect one is revealed to everyone, so there doesn't have to be one person reading and everyone else answering. Everyone can answer it together at the same time. So if you got that question right, it would go over here. If you got it wrong, it would go over here. So if you get 4 incorrect, the machine would be full power, spreading misinformation around the world, and you would lose. If you got this many correct before that happened, you would win as a team. So this one, it tested very well. It was lots of fun, definitely, but I did pitch it to quite a few publishers, and they all pretty much said that trivia is a tough genre to break into. It has to be very unique. It really has to stand out, and it just wasn't quite different enough, I guess. I'll still keep it in the back of my mind for if any other opportunities come up for trivia games, but I actually considered self-publishing this, but coming up with that many questions would be tough. So the replayability is definitely something to consider with trivia games. I don't plan on making other trivia games because of that, but it was a really good experiment for sure. All right, the Musketeers game. I worked on this game quite a bit. There's 2 bags for this one and quite a bit of stuff that I recycled. So for this game, I was approached by another designer to co-design with it, and I've never co-designed anything before and probably won't again. Yeah, it was definitely outside my comfort zone. It was a strategy game based on the Three Musketeers. And so there was a publisher who was interested in this idea, and they approached my co-designer, and then he reached out to me. So I read the entire book. Actually, I have it here. My friend actually lent the Three Musketeers book to me. So I read the whole thing. Yeah, that definitely took a while. There's a whole index in the back with notes of all the things that the author refers to. Yeah, it's over 600 pages long. So this was definitely challenging, but I absolutely wanted to read it because I'm making a board game based on that. I need to have read the book. At least I found that was important. Some other designers, I know they wouldn't do that, but for me, I wanted to. I also watched the Three Musketeers TV show on the BBC, and I definitely suggest watching that. But it was really good, actually. Really, really good. So that helped me just, you know, get more familiar with the characters and the storylines and everything like that. So, I didn't have much sort of direction of what the publisher was looking for, what they wanted. So I just basically made the game that I wanted to make, which is a pretty open game. They call it sandboxy. I'd never heard this term before, but basically where you have a ton of choices of what you want to do. You would play one of the different Musketeers, or like Milady or Rochefort, like some of the bad characters. And you would be traveling around France and going across to England and completing different missions, buying weapons, doing a whole bunch of really fun things. That's what I wanted it to be. I've always wanted to make a game like that. I personally love adventure video games where you just go around and you do a bunch of fun stuff. But let me show you some of the maps that I made. So this looks like was one of the very first ones. I mean, it's very simple. Can you even see that? So, I mean, it's just a very rough sketch of France and England, and then these were all the sort of different actions that you could do or places you can go and things you can do at those different locations. They got more detailed as it was developed. So this is a tiny little version of the larger game board, but this is basically where all the different places you'd be moving around, and these were actually all the places mentioned in the book. So I made a point of referencing all the different places that the characters go in the book. These are all the different things you can do, all the different places you can go. And then the sort of basic idea was this tug between the Musketeers side and then the Richelieu side. Oh my God, have I forgotten? This was my life for like a year, and I've just kind of deleted it from my mind. So we have the Cardinal Richelieu side and then the King side. If it's just a two-player game, one person is on the Musketeer side, one person is on the Cardinal side, and then you're pulling back and forth trying to gain power over France, trying to have the power over France. That's the basic idea. And the way that you do that is by completing missions and doing different favors for either the king or the cardinal. So I'm just gonna do one more, and then I guess we'll have more to look forward to next time. So this is Just Face It, otherwise known as Hold That Face. So this became that. That's pretty cool. It's a team-based party game where one person draws a card from one of the different decks, and there are 4 different decks. There's scared, happy, sad, and angry. And so the one player would draw a card from one of these decks, and there would be different situations on them. Like say they drew from the happy deck, it might be like, you just won the marathon or something like that. So that's your situation. And you're gonna be making a facial reaction and holding that face to that situation. And so you have a mirror that you can practice your face in, practice your facial reaction in, and then that one card is mixed in with 3 other similar happy situations. Those 4 cards are then given to your teammates. So your teammates are looking at 4 happy situations. Then you reveal your face, hold your face, and they have to pick which of those 4 you're reacting to. And if they say you just won a marathon, your team would get that point and you keep the card. Then it's the other team's turn. And whoever has the most cards or the most points at the end of the game would win. So I'll show you my prototype. This was my scared. So I didn't actually draw these little guys. This is just clip art I found, just placeholder art. And then had the different situations. That's what that was, scared. This is happy. So yeah, you can just use placeholder art when you're making prototypes. The publisher is going to change it anyway. If you're using anything copyrighted, you probably shouldn't. Just use clip art that that you know you can use, or just let the publisher know. Definitely change this art. That's angry, but I liked these little faces. And what, sad. And there's sad. Aww, poor little guy. So I've talked about this game, you know, quite a bit in other videos, so I won't go into much detail, but my prototype had these little privacy screens, and where you could keep your cards when you got points. And it was just so that your teammates, when they're looking at the 4 different scenarios, you don't accidentally see them and possibly change your face depending on what you know are the other options. They ultimately did not include these privacy screens, but it was fun to make these, and now I know how to make privacy screens. It's just cardboard that I didn't cut all the way through, and it makes a very nice sort of hinge, and they sit very nicely on the table. So I've used these privacy screens in other prototypes. So that's nice to have. Yeah, I did actually make a whole unboxing video when I got my very first copy of Hold That Face. It's on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out if you want to hear more about it. But it's pretty cool that this became this. Yeah! Well, friends, that's gonna be it for this month's video. Thank you again so much for your support. I really appreciate all of you again so much. Thank you to my patrons, Monica, Kathleen, Meg, Pat, Darcy, and Nancy. Thank you so much. See you next month.